Hello, my name is Saeedat, and in this video, I'll be comparing and contrasting the American colonies of Hispaniola and Virginia. In 1493, Christopher Columbus sailed from Spain to Hispaniola with funds from Queen Isabella. On the other hand, in 1606, the English sailed from England to Virginia with funds from the London Company as well as a charter from King James I. When they both reached land, they created colonies of their own and named them Hispaniola and Virginia. With the founding of their new colonies, both groups came in contact with Native Americans. When the Virginia colony met Native Americans for the first time, they were very hostile towards each other. The British even considered them as savages, and they would often end up fighting and running away from each other. On the contrary, as Columbus and the Spanish explored the islands and the settlements of the Indians, they greeted him with provisions and gold dust they had gathered. He even discovered deposits of gold and copper with their help. As the Spanish were friendly with the Native Americans at first, it took time for the British. There are many accounts of the Native Americans running away from them. Though it took time, both groups started becoming more friendly towards each other. On a day when the British were near water, they saw 5 Native Americans running on the shore. They were shocked and ready to attack at first, until the British captain put his hand on his heart and showed them they were peaceful. They then laid down their bows and arrows and began walking towards the British, and even invited them over to their village. The Native Americans introduced them to maize bread, which they ate, as well as their own tobacco. They even guided them to their destinations and showed them the way around the land. As the British traveled through the land, they met another group of Native Americans. They were far more protective of themselves and weren't as friendly. They even asked the British to leave. The British made signs of peace, and they finally allowed them to stay, though they were still wary of them. The two groups had many clashes and were often fighting. The British also kept their distance from them. With worrying about the Native Americans, the British built huge and tough forts to protect themselves from them. Now let's go back to talking about the Spanish. Earlier, I talked about how the Spanish and the Native Americans were friendly with each other when they first met, but that didn't last for long. Unlike the British, who became friendly and accepting through time, the association between Native Americans and Hispaniola took a turn, for the worst. Many of the people of Hispaniola were dying of hunger, and no one knew what to do. One day, the admiral of Hispaniola was told that the Native American tribe near them had left their towns. He then sent his healthiest men and strongest horses to go and take over the land and show the Native Americans who were more powerful. They wanted to be feared and obeyed. The way the people of the colonies of Hispaniola and Virginia treated Native Americans were very different. The Native Americans got along well with the people of Hispaniola at first, as the Native Americans showed them gold deposits and provided them with resources, but then it took a turn. After they saw that things were going bad for them, they decided to overthrow the Native Americans and treat them as lower beings. They did this to show superiority, as well as because they were dying out. On the other hand, the British and the Native Americans didn't get along well at all at first, but then they showed peace towards one another and became close. Native Americans introduced them to maize and their own tobacco, and even showed them the way around the land. Native Americans played a huge role in both of these colonies, as they introduced them to the Americas and the many resources that it contained.